Hey guys, welcome in. Doing another guy. Happy Saturday. Okay. More building system stuff today. I was thinking the character animation. Okay. Alright, just gonna get some stuff straightened out. What am I coding for? A game I'm working on. Working on the building system today. Okay, so this is the situation I want to fix. And that's this situation, right? Yeah. Oh, game engine. No. Just a game in an Unreal Engine. And what happened when I did this? Did that change? Because I just commented that out, so I don't know if that actually changed anything. I want red and green. I want green to be elsewhere. That would be socket location B. Building entity A, attach transform. Now it doesn't like socket to anything. Why? Why are you not socketing to anything? I don't use Vim motions now. So this function is not the issue at this point. Why isn't it? I was just logging the first ones. Let's do this then as well. Let's also do not 120. like a 20, like 17 or some shit. Cyan and emerald. I feel like a Unity build does not help. I had it set to false for a while, and I felt like that was faster. But it's just going purely off vibes, though. Okay, so this is sort of... Okay, it is snapping to things now. It's only snapping on one side. Why are you only snapping on one side now? Okay, so we are outputting green. No, we're not. Green was just the first one that was considered. Green was the first one that was considered. Is it green or... Wait, is that green or emerald? Oh, emerald is so hard to see. Looks like... Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Okay, so what am I doing? Get attached sockets for building. What am I doing with this? I want to rewrite some of this in C++. This is only... Wait, this is only happening in... Conan, welcome in. Highlight my message, welcome. A nice purple background you put on my emote. It's a shame it doesn't highlight it in the chat. Oh, I turned that off, right. I talked about that last time. So many channel... How many channel points do you have? I have infinite, so I don't think you have more than me. Building process. Find best attach point for target. Okay, so it's this one, right? Almost 150K. Okay, so I have get it. Okay, so get attached sockets for building. Only runs. Oh, I run this elsewhere, right? I run this elsewhere for sure. For sure is easy. Yeah, okay, so I run it here. Get snap transform. Okay. And then I return A. What's this game about? It's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite. Okay, so let's get snap transform. Pass that into here. Attach socket. Find best attach point. Which is now this socket. Wait, that's target socket? I'm returning the wrong one then. Might be the issue. Might be the issue. Wait, why would I be closest socket? Yeah, this should be target socket. Okay, that might have been where I went wrong. Back to why the hell is live coding so low? Yeah, this guy's saying exactly what I thought. Goal builds take longer and incremental builds faster. Yeah, I mean, most of my builds are incremental builds. I never need to rebuild in entirety, really. I did, so my vibes were right. My vibes were right. Okay, so now, okay. A weird series of events here. What a weird series of events. Yeah, okay, so let's do this. Do this. Rebuild. Ooh. 260 actions, oh god, yeah. I mean, that seems like it's going faster per action, though. Doesn't it? I don't know. I don't know how close you guys pay attention to my compile time. That seems faster. I hate that there's like so many ways to build a goddamn program. Where's Todd Howard when you need him? I need a it just works type solution. Oh yeah, and I forgot, when you turn that off, like, the import stuff changes. When you turn that on or off, it's so funny. Okay, what did I mess up? Was it changing it to target socket? It's snap transform. That was the change, right? Let's see how fast live coding is now. It was taking like 30 to 40 seconds before. 9 seconds without Unity. Yeah, I'm thinking I'll take that. I'm thinking, okay, so building socket, the placement building socket returning there is what we want. I just call it target socket in blueprints. Why did I do that? Did I fuck up my find best attach point logic? This doesn't make sense as to why this works. Why is this working? Why is this working the way that it is? Okay, this is saying this building socket. Target socket. Wait. New placement building socket. Okay, so yeah, that. I'm literally passing in. I guess it doesn't matter in this case. Well, partially. Because they are the same. The sockets are actually on the same actor. So they're the same sockets, but we're acting like they're in different places. Building A to building B, socket A, socket B, 0 vector. Which is just a surface node, which isn't being taken into effect. I am confused. Segments 4. So the diamonds are going to be from... God, it's going to be so hard to read, but I need to see this information. The diamonds are going to be from find best attach point to target. Okay, yeah, live codings are running considerably faster. Considerably. Okay, so... yeah, these diamonds are the attach points, or the, like the transforms where this building should be. It's checking at each of these diamonds. Actually easier to read than I thought it would be. It's only checking, okay, yeah, so all of those would be invalid. Those 4 diamonds would be invalid, but it's because we're only checking there, and that's it. I'm getting the rights, cyan and blue. Yeah, so that's the placement building socket. And because I'm not checking invalid collision here, the first one gets returned, which does happen to be an invalid collision. But if I do check invalid collision, we are now choosing a different placement building socket. We're getting further there. Let me... Why am I not choosing that one? Oh, yeah, this is false. Or no, this does have invalid collision. I guess let's draw a debug. We'll do a box. Actually, no, just do a sphere. Box is kind of annoying to draw. Red. This one will be segments 4. No, segments 10. Radius 30. So I can see all of the wrong... Well, no. I want attached transform. Get location. I want to see where it's trying to place this. Where are these invalid collision? What's the collisions? Colligi. I think that's the plural. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. I'm trying to place it here, like the center of, like this green, where that green is, it was trying to place it there. It should be trying to place it here. I feel like this transform may not be correct here. Get socketed transform. So I use it here. Target building, target socket, hit surface normal. There's no way surface normal has anything to do with this. It's gotta be sockets here. But like socket A does belong to building A. Oh no, it doesn't. It's sockets. Oh, interesting. Interesting. try that. It's confusing because you're getting the sockets on building A for building B. So I think the naming confused me there. Okay, nothing changed. That's not exactly what I wanted to see. Okay, that didn't help. that made zero difference. Okay, let's just like flip these and see what happens. What is in my mouth? My own hair. That's what it is. God, oh, that's so much better. Like the amount of time I must have wasted. That looks good. Wow. Crazy. Crazy. Okay, so now we're checking for invalid collision on both. And it looks good, except for this one. This one is still not... It's only trying one, and it's red. Only trying one and it's red, but we're trying socket location A, B, so it's cyan and emerald. Okay, let's do this. I'm also going to copy that. I'm going to go green. God, I wish I would have changed the live coding, the Unity yesterday. Because my God, this is 3 to 4 times faster. So why the hell is green over there? What? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. That's not even where it's at. So yeah, that's incorrect. Okay. Try this. Flip the sockets, but don't flip the buildings. All right. Now we're talking. Oh, is that it? I think that's it. Oh, I think that's it. Immediately, like, shifts down. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay. Oh, look how easy it is. Oh, it's all flowing like butter. Is that it? Okay, so why did that fix it? You know, great that we found the solution. That's great news. Good news, everyone. I need that soundbite, too. I did get this one in.
All right, then. Keep your secrets.
I love that one. They need a good news, everyone. I don't know. Am I going to use it that much?
Good news, everyone. Good news, everyone.
Yeah. Little Futurama. Okay, but why does this work? So I think I'm actually naming these variables wrong on this function. Because I don't even pass them in correctly. Is this, this isn't even the placement building socket. Or no, the target socket is not the placement building socket. No, the target socket is... God damn it. I'm already... I can't even say it. I'm so confused. Oh, dear. Now, I could just leave this as is. Because it works. And I can just pray that I never need to change it ever again. Or ever look at the code. Or I could try to rename these variables such that it describes and then also... probably comment these functions because they have a lot of nuance. These few functions do, the socketing functions. I probably need to document them. Tyler, welcome. I just figured it out. I just had a moment. My socketing is looking good. Nicely done. Thank you. Thank you. How was your strain? I wasn't paying attention. So what were you working on? Actually, I saw you. You were vibe designing. I did see that a little bit. Oh no. Oh no. But now the walls aren't snocketing. Oh dear. Fixing my upgrade system. That sounds fun. Okay, at least I can. Okay, walls can snock it into walls, but walls have stopped being able to snock it into the snozzberries. And so has everything. Everything apparently cannot snock it anymore. Fixed the bug and found another one. So it goes. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so why isn't this working then? I wonder if I build it. Nope, still doesn't want to socket. Okay. Okay. New bug. Okay, but I did want to like rename these. Although this new bug. This new bug, I don't know, is it related to this? I guess I can easily check that by turning this off, which means I also need to turn that off. It's the Murphy's Law of software engineering, yeah. So it goes, like I said. That might have been pre-existing. So yeah, that's still not snocketing. Why? Why? Okay, so let's turn that back on. It might just be... I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so where are our... Okay, I need to... Let's put this on a different building. God damn. Okay. There we go. Okay, so let's see. We have... Jesus, this is all wrong. Yeah, I think swapping the snockets... Let me swap the snockets back. It was not there. Here. Let me see if that fixed it. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Yeah, that green is... I think that green is where it's supposed to be. Well, sort of. It's more closer. It is more closer to where it needs to be. This, however... Those are not in the correct location. That's correct. Okay, I'm not actually trying to understand this. I'm just... Wait. I'm not actually trying to understand this. I'm just like changing things and seeing if it works. I'm just changing things that look like they might be off. I'm vibe debugging. That does look like a more correct position as well. Well, you're supposed to be... Okay, these are not right. Jesus Christ. Oh. Jesus. They're not even changing either. They should be changing. Now, what is the collision on this camera? It's like way too much. Okay, so first of all, Jesus Christ, man. Okay, flip the snockets again. Love the chill music you play. Glad you like it. I quite enjoy it as well. Okay, so that change like completely broke all of the socketing. But are you a fucking... Are you an OpenAI rep right now? I'm sorry, but LLMs are lame. They're super lame. I miss when AI was cool. Back when it was like NARA machine learning modules that like could detect cancer before humans and you know, were eating chess and stuff like that. And not like, hey, just do everything for me. Fucking lame, dude. It's so lame that I didn't even want to read your entire message. You know, the ancient Greeks... The ancient Greek philosophers used to think that the younger generation were going to become dumb because they were reading books instead of remembering things. And look how far we've come. Like, yeah, why would you do anything when you can just have AI do it? And you don't even need to prompt it anymore. It can just know. Like, dude, why would I live at that point? Like, look out of here with that, man. It's tiring. I'm tired, boss. This may come as a shock to the AI shills, but I enjoy doing things. I enjoy doing things for the sake of doing them. I think so many people have not learned that the destination is not actually what you're going for. Like they haven't learned that the journey is what it's about, you know? And the friends we made along the way. Okay, so I'm thinking the only reason this is working is because the sockets are actually the same. What if AI could wipe my ass? How about that? I have to prompt it though. You got to come up with the right prompt. Got to prompt engineer the ass wipe. Yeah, I have some shit backwards, but it's really hard to tell where. So I'm gonna have to actually dig deep here. I'm gonna actually have to dig deep here. Hang on, my dog can't get up on the bed. One sec. No, I built system, you just need a slash command to do that. I don't, did you? This is what AI is doing to people. They literally have no comprehension skills outside of their own perspective. Yes, I got what you said. You don't like AI as I see you code very well. I didn't even mention coding. I mean, that's part of it, but like, I don't think you actually understood. It's going to destroy society, honestly. Like I've begun. Go talk to a teacher who has been teaching for 10 or more years. Go find someone who is a teacher. You'll understand, hopefully, after talking to them. Dude, I'm getting older, and like I have eyebrow hairs that just get in my eyeballs. Like, what is that about? That never happened. Like, why are my eyebrows getting out of control now? I don't like that. Someone needs to submit a bug fix on that, please. Okay, let's dig in here. So, get out of my eyeball, please. Thank you. And I can like see it in the corner. I'm about to just like pluck this. Dude, holy shit. Okay, I just pulled out like 5 eyebrow hairs. Okay, hopefully that does it. Who does the PR for that? Whatever gene editing AI fucking we get in the future, I guess. I don't know. The PR is by Tweezers. Okay, let me recap the flow of events here. So update placement building position. We get the snap transform, which returns the placement building socket. Yes, this is the placement building socket. Out socket A, which is building entity. So get attached sockets for building. Out socket A. I think these are being output backwards. So sockets A is building A. Well, no, this is right. This is right. Teachers are not that much aware of AI in terms of destroying it. Well, the point is that technology, these like algorithms, you know, these devices, screen time, AI, all of it is like destroying children's ability to focus and learn. And if you talk to a teacher who has been teaching for more than 10 years, will likely tell you, I'm sure this is true to varying extents across the world, but they will tell you that it is alarming how much worse students are. Like, not even just intellectually, but like behaviorally as well. Like, they have no self-control compared to 10 years ago. Okay, so what we're doing here, I'm getting all of these sockets on building A for building type B. And I'm doing the same for building B. And we are sorting them closest to the other. Relative to transform. Yes, closest to location, the one that is passed in. Building entity B. The sockets A are on the placement building. This is confirmed. These are placement building related sockets. I think this needs to be building entity A. Get composed transform or building entity. It's the socket relative transform. I think this needs to be switched. I'm saying this is on building A, this is on building B. Oh, and the only reason I'm doing that is for like debugging. So that doesn't even really matter that much. Oh no, it does. It does. I use the. Oh no, it doesn't. It does not. It does not. Okay, let's put that back to where it should be. So we get the socketed transform. So I think the intention of this function is to get the transform of the for building, which is building A, when these two sockets are attached to each other. That is what that is supposed to return. And I see no reason why it wouldn't do that. And that does seem to work. I think the has invalid collision does seem to work properly. So let's look at get socketed transform. This one I'm not so sure is working properly. Or building transform. Or building. I happen to know that this is the snap to socket rotation. We target building, that looks good. Target socket. Now the target socket, yeah, we have two sockets here. Yeah, so we're basing it off of whatever this socket is, and we have this socket relative location as well. Target socket get composed transform with the 2 target building. So I should have, yeah, we should have the target socket transform. I'm only ever getting the relative location of this building socket. Should I be doing that? I think what I should do here, let's do this. So let's do a draw debug box. Then maybe I even need to make a function for this, because I think I do this elsewhere. Porting instance. We'll just copy pasta. Copy pasta. There we go. Okay, so there. We can make it orange. Sure, make it orange. And supporting building, get building extent. So this should be for building A. We want to get the attached transform location. How can I get one thing? Pocket B, sure, that's fine. Extent, we can just do extent. Get building extent is not, oh, it's the owner. Building A. Let's draw that debug box. And then that way we can see exactly how it's like rotated and stuff when it has incorrect. And then maybe we also do that here with green. Let's do that there with green. Well, I'm sussing on this get socketed transform function. That's what I'm sussing on. Got too many inputs that could be wrong. Oh my Jesus. Okay, that's a little hard to tell what's going on. It's only working on 2 sides. Okay, now, interesting. So, I'm saying this is good, but we're eventually putting it over here. That one is correct. That one is not correct. Visually, it looks correct. Like, this is supposed to be targeted right there. Or rather, these should be right there. So, emerald and green. Okay, so it just happens to be the first one. This is interesting because, like, the locations are just wrong. And this doesn't make sense to me. Get attached sockets for building. Where are we coming from here? Building entity, target entity. Why is it? It feels like I'm passing in like the wrong entities here. It feels like they're flipped, but like I'm treating them in theory correctly. The sorting isn't necessarily, it doesn't necessarily matter right now. I mean, maybe it does though. Maybe it does, because it is returning the first one, which should be closest to location. We should like have a location. Do I need to log the sort do I have the sort locations wrong? Because yeah, green, I guess that shouldn't be the first one. That shouldn't be the first one that shows. I do want to get. I want to get the sockets in building A that are closest to building transform B. Or closest to, I mean, do I just need to swap these? Relative to, I guess, isn't relative to close. I mean, that's kind of a, yeah, I guess that is, I think the name of that function was throwing me off there. Okay, wonderful. Now we just get a strobe. We get a rave here. It's beautiful. Okay, so green actually is correct now. That little green guy, he's correct. Programming language, this is Unreal Engine and C++. Okay, so now that seems correct, although, yeah, we're not, now the rotation is not correct. Because this orange here should be rotated elsewise. I think that is technically... And then, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, because we're going relative to... Yeah, this is weird. This is weird. Let me destroy all these. What is the error here? What are you talking about, brother? That's not right. Okay, so now I'm back to sussing the socketed transform function. But also, I think this seems to closest to location. Building transform A is the placement building, which is moving, which means that this is going to be like a kind of non-deterministic scenario. I don't know if that's the right term there to describe what I'm thinking of, but it means like wherever the placement building is, input into this function is going to potentially change the output. And I don't want that. So I may need to act like... I should take the rotation into account though, because I do want to be able to rotate it in place while it's socketed. So we will need to take the input rotation, I believe. Should I make sure that we are... Let's make sure... that we're maybe considering building the building B location properly. I mean, there's no way that wouldn't be. There's no way that wouldn't be. Also, what is building transform A? Does it even have a fucking transform? Okay, yeah, it does. I don't know where I update that. Oh, I call the set transform. I call that every frame. Yeah, I update that every frame. What if we just acted like building A is at 0, 0? What happens? Let's act. Yeah, see, now it's not freaking out. It's still wrong, but now it's not freaking out. Yeah, the socketed transform rotation seems wrong. Okay, so it is the right first one. However, that has invalid collision. That's this orange one. What is this other orange one from? Oh, I guess I'm only logging the first and the chosen. I'm not... So there's a second one that has incorrect. It might be that one. That one might have been the incorrect one. This does seem to be selecting the right socket on this mesh, but we're moving it to a different spot. That might just be the issue of a different function. Wherever it eventually gets placed is the issue of a different function. However, this is an incorrect transform, so I don't think we have the rotation correct. Shit. I don't like that. That's scary to me. I don't like rotations. I don't like that. It's relative location. Placement, building, socket, world, location. So we get the rotation first, which is just snapping to the target building trans. Yeah, snapping to the socket rotation. Yeah, that seems right. Placement, building, socket, world, location. I don't think I'm taking into account the socket location here. Is that what this is supposed to be? I feel like I'm doing too many steps here, and there's an easier way. I'm just not smart enough to do so. Ooh. Or building transform dot get location. I think I need to add this building socket dot relative location or something, right? Look at that cute coffee drink. It's a +5 int buff, so that's why I drank it. Morning Odd. Do you want to help me with rotational math? Well, this is where I'm rotating the placement building's relative location by the new rotation. Affine transformation matrices is all I know. Did you just cast a fucking spell on me? Get that kind of demon worship out of here. Placement buildings. I mean, I guess let's fucking draw debug. Fuck it. I have so many debug drawings. Some would say the best debug drawings. Purple. I love that. Do I have a world object? Yeah. Radius 10. Okay, what size have I not used yet? Let's go somewhere between 4 and 10 segments. 8. Sounds good. Radius, I don't want this to overlap with other things. I guess, can we make it small? Can we make it small? It's gonna be like 8. I'm gonna do 8. This is apparently the placement building's world location. So we're gonna see this pop up a lot. The placement building sockets, world location. So for each socket, this should show, allegedly. Okay. I am seeing the purples. Okay. Okay. I'm only seeing it on green. I was expecting to also see it on the orange boxes. Actually, I'm not even seeing it on the green box. I am seeing it on where it's eventually placed, which I guess makes sense. If this is wrong, yeah. Or building, yeah, so the building transform is where it is. Yeah, I don't think I want to get the building transform location. Because again, depending on where the placement building is, and input would depend on where it is. Okay, it's gone, and it's gone. Apparently, yeah, so it's acting like it's at 0, 0. What even? Oh, it just yeets itself on. Pioneers used to ride these babies for miles. Okay, all right, so that was a step in the wrong direction, I would say. Beep boop boop boop. Beep boop boop boop. Socket relative location. Yeah, I feel like this is extra steps. I don't think I actually... Also, actor relative location is not the right term there. Not actor anymore. Okay, so purpose of this function is to get the location of for building as if this building socket and target socket were connected to each other. I mean, do I just need to get the target building transform, the target building location? Get the target building location. Like, set the for building location to the target socket location. And then offset it by wherever this building socket is. I would need to take into account rotation there as well, which is where it gets confusing for me. So for location, that makes sense. Cute coffee drink use. Increases your intellect by 4 and decreases your continence by 5. Well, my continence was already at rock bottom, so can't go any lower. Increases stamina as well, I think. Something like that, maybe. Something to, like, work harder, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, the rotation is where it gets all fucksy-wucksy for me. Because I have to rotate the socket together. So I need the... I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know what... Is it just subtracting the two relative rotations? Does rotation relative even matter? This is the foundation of your base building? Yeah, and I had it, like, working before. Like, earlier in the stream, we got it working what I thought was perfectly. But then I went to go snap other building types together, and it turned out that it was wrong. And I think the only reason it was working was because I was attaching 2 of the same building together. And somewhere I had some stuff incorrect, where it just gets extra complicated because the individual buildings are instances now instead of actors. So, yeah. I have to use, like, relative locations for sockets and stuff like that. I have, like, a base static mesh component just in the viewport for each. Hello, please? Can I use the editor keybinds? Thank you. So I'll have this. Like, this is what all the arrows are where the sockets are for the different, like, building types and stuff. And then I have, like, these supports and stuff. And so for everything that you see here, I have to get the relative locations and rotations of these and change them, act like they are where the instance transform is. So that just, like, adds another layer of complexity, which is great. I love that for me. Love that for me. Okay, so if I grab... Let's say I have the 2 appropriate sockets, and there's nothing wrong with that. I can do the location-based one. I can do the location part of it. Essentially, it is target building socket. Would it just be plus placement building relative socket? I'm just gonna comment. Let's just comment that out. Give me another one of these. I'm gonna set out transform location equal to target building socket transform, which should be the world transform. Yeah, get composed transform with 2 target building. Yes, so that should be the world transform. Target building socket transform dot get location. I'm getting the world location of that, and then I should add the this building socket. Let's say get relative location. Let's just try that. Let's see what happens there. Wow, look at that. Wow, wow, wow. So it should be, yeah, so I'm still seeing it be incorrect. Like the orange is an invalid collision. It tried to do it. It's more correct now. That green one is like the first socket it is considering, which should be the closest to wherever my hit location is. Cyan is the socket that is chosen on the placement building to connect, which doesn't seem to be changing. I mean, I guess that's because I'm just acting like it's at 0, 0, which is over there. So yeah, it's like the topmost one. I don't think I should act like it's at 0, 0. I think I should act like they are on top of it. They are literally at the same location. The building transform A, I actually... Closest to... Yeah, set it to closest to location. I had that initially. That actually, I like that. That sounds good. It sounds... I'm vibing with that. Hard, so hard. Okay, we have a different result now. Okay, cool. Okay, now we're only picking one. Okay. Okay. So this to me means that I'm not adjusting the rotation. That's why it's only working on one side. Building transform. Okay, so let's do this. Let's act like the rotation is there. It's all a facade. We're just doing a bunch of acting in these functions. Okay, nothing different there. Nothing different there. But let me check the... So this now doesn't really take it. So let me just see... Let's go back to what it was at. And let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Ruben, welcome in. Okay, different things are happening. Yeah, that's not correct, because like green is not where it ends up, so that's not like correct. Well, I think this is actually more correct. The rotation is just not correct. Like I can see, like that is, yeah, okay. So I think whatever's attaching it there is wrong, which is a different function. Like it is not rotating this attach. It's not I'm not returning the right attach rotation. I need the rotation. Wait, let me look here. It should only be 4. Or yeah, 6 makes sense actually. And there's like stairs, right? Wait, what is this one right here? That's foundation socket 2. What is this one? 5. And this is for what's... Where are your types at? Building, there it is. Building types. So your foundation and foundation triangle. And then this is ramp. I think do I need to rotate that? Is that why? I also want to get into game coding. Any tips on what language is best? Start with an engine, not a language. Unless you're trying to create your own engine, which if you're asking that question, then you shouldn't be. I feel like I might have done that because it made my math work. Okay, something weird happened there. Let's rebuild. See, now that looks a lot more correct. But whatever is attaching is not. Hi, can I help you? Making my way downtown. So now the green box looks correct, but now we're not. Wait, green is target or placement? Green is the target socket. So the socket location A. Get composed train. Okay, so yeah, that is going to be weird. So now I think I need to use this building transform that I've like made up out of thin air. Love your work. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. He just slides off into the sunset. Yeah. Just all hips, just all. Is it your own project or are you doing it for someone else? It's my own project. Okay, welcome in. What operating system should I use to choose what programming language to make my own engine? Bonus question, how much RAM do I need? Well, you're not asking the important question, which is what shell and kernel do I use? And if you want to do it right, you actually need to think about what FPGA designs you should use for your motherboard. What beach should you get the sand from? We can go further. We can go further. Just I thought I took it farther, but no, odd one upped me. What beach should you get the sand from to create your silicon? Keep watching lives, like your work, really? Yeah, well, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Oh god, that's fucking funny. Okay, so building transform A. I forget which order I'm supposed to do the transforms in. Yeah, okay, so I need to do these sockets relative transform. Compose that shiz. I think we also need to consider the moon's tidal phase. You know, like low tide, high tide. Is it waxing, waning? These details are important when it comes to game dev. Is that moving? It is. Yeah, it is moving. I mean, I guess that does make sense because I'm acting like I can still rotate it in place. But I think I want to act like it's For each of these sockets, where do I want to act like they're at? Like, my options are hit location or the target building transform. Am I the only one who doesn't, like, enjoy beaches? Now when I look at this, it at least makes a little bit more sense. Although, cyan is not moving. So when did you set your deadline for it? Or are you just doing it for fun as you go? I am just doing this for fun. Even if I wasn't, I'm not sure, like, what, or, like, why I would be setting a deadline. But no, no deadline. Just for funsies. Just for funsies. Why is cyan over there? Why am I considering, like, every... Cyan never changes. Just like war. It's like war. I guess that makes sense. Does it? Does it make sense? If I'm acting like building A is at the transform of building B, so they're like right on top of each other, and then I'm saying, hey, give me the closest socket to the hit location. What airline company should I choose to get there? Probably one that doesn't use Boeing planes, right? Yeah, you want to use the recently bankrupted Spirit Airlines. So if I rotate this, let me look at a rotatey boy here. Yeah, that does make sense, I think. Does that make sense? I don't know. Someone tell me if this makes sense or not. It looks cool. Of course, I snap into a new snocket. I snap into a new Slim Jim and it like resets. I guess that makes sense. Marcus, welcome in. Oh, cyan is just the first one, right? No, cyan is the chosen one. You were the chosen one! Blue is the first one. Interesting. Interesting. Which seems like it should be the chosen one. Which makes me think the rotation is not correct in my it's snocketed transform funky wunk. Okay, we're gonna diverge from that and look at the function that is attaching these two things together. So that was all part of get snap transform. That returns the output snocket, which I think needs to be the other one now. Actually.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
It's Leviosa.
Leviosa. Stop. Stop. Fucking funny. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Look at that.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Oh yeah, we still got the, okay, now this isn't, yeah, no, that's not working. Is it because the box trace is like just the yeah, it might be because the box trace is hitting this guy here. But why is that still on that one? I think that's just an issue with the line trace. That seems like an issue. That seems like a line trace issue. Although that seems like we should. Let me look here. What do I pass in? I don't know why, but that just made me think about this moment. When I was in, we were in middle school. My science teacher was like ancient. He was like 80 years old. He was very old. Don't know if I mentioned that already. And he was very slow. And a very smart guy. But he would take a long time to kind of like in between sentences. And this is back in the day where you would the teacher would hand out papers for you to like work on and stuff, right? It may not happen anymore. But, you know, he was like talking about something and then he goes, I'm about to pass out. And we were all like, oh no, God, these papers. And we're like, oh God, oh, thank God. I just thought about that when I said, like, pass in, and then I had a pause afterwards. That was so fucking funny. We all talked about that afterwards. Like, dude, I was so scared. Like, he was gonna pass out. Oh, good times. Good times. Anyways, hit location. Trace impact location. Have you tried spatial pruning for the problem that I'm on? What do you mean? The engine is source build or just download from launcher? I don't build from source yet. So it's just 5.7 from the launcher. So yeah, I am... We're doing trace impact location. Yeah, so we're doing it by the line trace, which I'm not sure. We're tracing on visibility. We are tracing on visibility, and then I should be drawing that little arrow on it, right? I am, yeah. So the hit that I'm getting is like right fucking there. Or no, that's just the end. Language am I coding? It'll be C++. That is what Unreal Engine uses. Love your work. All the best for the future. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Copium. Dengio, welcome in. This is the first time I've gotten a watch streak. Oh, did you send that? I think you sent that. Okay, cool. I want to learn how to make video games. How do I start? You pick an engine and you start Googling. So we're just using the end result, which means I'm not getting a hit here. Yeah, we're just using the end there. So I'm not, this is not hitting anything in it. Fucking should be. Oh, it is here. Okay, so it does. Oh, no, it's not. Do you use AI at all? Not a whole lot. I do a bit. Maybe I'm understanding wrong. Are you trying to align buildings? I'm trying to get their sockets to snap together properly. Why are you not? I guess you're not hitting the. Did I make those ignore the visibility line channel? What are your collision settings? Who do you know here? Well, you're set to overlap visibility. I think I did that on purpose. Do you think that you could develop games using AI and not have to fully learn to code? I think what you're actually asking is... I think what you're actually saying is... What's the easiest way for me to make a game? How do I do it without learning how to code? And if you have that mindset, I don't think you're going to be very successful in making a game because it's difficult. Like, there are going to be a lot of challenges you have to overcome. Can you use AI to help? Yeah. Yeah, you can. Can I make an entire game? Shitty ones, sure. There have been, you know, there's Primogen has done it. Quinn69 has done it as well. Like shitty 2D ones, yeah. You could slop code that. You don't have to learn how to code to make a game, though. Especially with Unreal Engine, it has blueprints, which is a visual scripting language, these are blueprints, right? You can use these to make a game. Have you seen the Roblox prompt game making? I mean, that's literally just Genie. I didn't look into that. I saw the video. Slop code, vibe code, love that. Thanks. Yeah, that just came. That my brain auto completed that. I meant vibe code, and I was thinking AI slop, and it just I slop coded that phrase as well. Yeah, did Roblox actually make their own model for that, or yeah, the first video was straight up Expedition 30, and another one looked like the Avatar thing. Yeah, to answer your question, can you make games using AI? Yeah, you can, but like, it's hard, man, and you need to take pride in your work, especially if you want to like be successful in doing some game and stuff like that. Like, it's going to be hard. Coding is not the only challenge that you'll need to overcome. So having the mindset of like, what's the easiest way out? You're just not going to make it. So you kind of have to accept that there's no free lunch. There's no free real estate, you know. And you have to be ready to overcome hurdles. I've been staring at this forever because I forgot I forgot what I was trying to look up. Oh, it was the collision settings, right? Yeah, I recently changed this to respond overlap to all channels. That's the wrong one. This one, right. Yeah, I commented it out. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Let's see. And yeah, the more you use AI, the less you are going to learn. Okay, let's restart that. Okay, why are you just like okay, why are you entirely wrong now? What even happened? Okay, rebuild. There's free breakfast and real estate. We're just gonna visit on a really expensive house and they have things for you to eat. Do you think they'll let me in wearing my pajama pants? There's no way that, like, fucked everything up. Where was that? You look like the richest one there. Yeah, I was thinking it could either go it could go either way. Right? Like either you're like Jack Dorsey and you don't shave. What is going on? Oh, that's why I disabled it, because it's hitting itself. Congratulations, you hit yourself.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
That's why I turned it off. I forgot. Yeah. Silent wealth. Yeah. But they'll know your new money. I don't know. It could go... yeah, I guess old money, like you grow up with fancy shit, right? God, I don't want to have 3 instant static mesh components for this, which is what I think it would require. What do you require? I require AI slot video games. Get out. You have 10 seconds to get the fuck out of my house. I don't actually think people being able to prompt a video game is going to be a good thing. I don't think it will be a good thing. Generally, I think making things more accessible is a good thing. Generally speaking. But I remember, and Odd, maybe you remember too, I don't know if you ever dabbled in the app dev, mobile app world. But back when I was a youngster, a young lad, a young prince, I was making apps. It was one of the first things I started to learn because they were hot and new, and I thought I could change the world.
I don't think so.
And the Apple App Store was super lame because it costed like $120 a year for a developer license to actually put something on their App Store. Whereas the Google Play Store was like free, or it was like $5. Or I think there was a point in time where it was actually free. And I remember the vibe on the street was that it is a lot harder to get visibility for your app on the Google Play Store because there is so much on there, because there is a lower barrier to entry. And there's just a lot of crap on the store and you get buried. Whereas on the Apple App Store, it's higher quality things because there are barriers to entry. There's also, they have a stricter review process as well, which is, I think is the answer. You can make things accessible and have a stronger review process, and it helps. Shoddy B. I'll give it a Thank you for the raid, my man. How is your stream going? How are the VFX? How is Niagara Fluids treating you? For those who don't know, I'm Mydrong. Welcome in. I'm working on my building system today. I am making an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain. I do have LLM generated quest in the game too. A little proof of concept. I have some new models as well that need to get rigged. But I'm trying to fix the socketing. Trying to fix my socketing, which this looks good. Trying to fix the, yeah, the hits. Yeah, I think what's making it awkward is that we're actually hitting this foreground one right here. It's gradually making more sense, but it's very touchy. Different resolutions and sim frame rates and lighting conditions dramatically alter how it looks. Yeah, like, I resonated with what you were saying earlier in your stream, where it's like it's really fun work to do, where it's like you can do kind of like this math stuff and make really cool shit happen on screen. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds fun. But then I think about all of the little touchy things that you're saying, and then I'm like, you know what? I need a professional to do this for me. I don't think the Google game thingy will be the way, but replacing the rendering pipeline with AI might be possible in a few decades. I mean, it's already happening, but from a different direction, right? Like we have AI generated frames in like DLSS and that kind of stuff. What we were just talking about before the raid was like, I think someone mentioned like, who mentioned that? The Roblox. Who was that? Who fucking mentioned the Roblox one? Someone mentioned the Geo mentioned the Roblox prompt video game generator. I mean, I think the Google one was more impressive, and that was released like 6 months ago, a year ago. But like either way, like I was just saying that I don't think that's going to be a good thing for game dev. And I was saying, like, just a weird thing happens when you make things really, really accessible. And in general, I think you should aim to make things accessible, universally accessible. I think that's a good thing. And not just for, like, people with disabilities and stuff like that. I just mean, like, able to reach more people for whatever it is. But I mentioned the Apple App Store and Google Play Store, the dichotomy between the two. Like, I think the Google Play Store now requires, like, more, but back in the day you could put anything on the Google Play Store. I think there was a time where it was free to do so, whereas the Apple App Store has had a stringent review process ever since its inception, and you also had to pay like $120 a year for a developer license. And so like the vibe was that you got much less visibility on the Google Play Store because there was just so much crap on the store. Blatant rip-offs, you know, just tons of low-quality stuff. And it was hard to get seen because there was so much of it. Whereas on the Apple App Store, you had better visibility because there was more barriers to entry. And I think we would see a similar thing, you know, once those vibe slop prompted video games become an actual game and not just a walking simulator for 20 seconds or 30, however long it's allowed to last. Which, by the way, you burn down a whole fucking forest every time you do that, right? That takes a lot of energy. That takes a lot of fucking energy. So, yeah, just the flood of video games that would come from that. You know, I don't think I think Steam wouldn't allow that kind of stuff. Like entirely vibe coded, vibe slop prompted, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't think Steam would, but we'll see what happens when Gabe dies, which is a scary thought. I don't want to think about that. But yeah, I don't think that they would allow that. So at least maybe on Steam it won't be so bad. But I think there are already visibility issues on Steam because of how many games there are. Currently, we are mainly regressing in terms of capabilities considering the price increases, and NVIDIA announcing no new consumer GPU coming anytime soon. I hope that due to this, game dev will start to finally optimize their game. I don't think that's what... That's not NVIDIA coming out with new and new hardware every year, every so often. I don't think that's the reason game devs aren't optimizing their game. I think that's pretty far down on the list. There are many other factors at play. I blame mostly the business side of it. I blame mostly the business side. And then after that, I would blame experience. So in a AAA, AA studio, I think it would come down to the developers just don't have time to do it. They don't have the bandwidth to do it until after release. That has been the status quo. It is probably an excuse given that hardware will get better with time. I mean, I don't, like I said, I think that's pretty low on the list of excuses. I think it is A, because of business reasons, financial reasons, and B, in more indie games, you know, lower budget, or maybe just like lower, it's just a lower skill, right? Unreal Engine 5 is also a new engine with new technologies that have, these aren't just new technologies that you can just turn on and they work, right? It changes the whole asset pipeline. So I think game devs are still kind of learning how to work with that as well. Hello, I have a question. Could you explain how you use blueprints and C++ together in a feature? If you're asking just like how the engine works that way, like you can just make a function in C++, slap a blueprint callable U property parameter on it, and you can use it in blueprints. But if you're asking when do I use blueprints, when do I use C++, I don't really have a great answer for that. I prefer C++. I think it's easier to organize and navigate, so I do most things in there. I think the only things that I like entirely do in blueprints are UI related things. Other than that, it's mostly C++. For games to start focusing more on optimization, players need to start refunding games that run poorly to give financial incentive for them to optimize. But we know this won't happen because gamers are hype prone. Yeah, I mean, I have had a complete shift in sentiment when I saw the Fable trailer. The first thing I thought, it looked amazing, and because it looked amazing, I'm like, oh god, I hope this doesn't suck. Because I feel like the business side of game dev can only justify putting money into things that they can see on screen. Right? I don't think that they actually care about things like depth in game design. Like, I don't think the industry cares about game design, to be honest with you, from what I've seen from most games coming out. I think there's some good, like, you know, AA kind of games that have, like, you know, good game design. And I would say Baldur's Gate 3 is a AAA game, but like before Baldur's Gate 3 came out, I think Larian would be considered like a AA studio, I would think. So, and there's some good game design in the indie space, but like AAA, I think they're very formulaic and stuff like that. And it's very, you know, what do the metrics say? You can tell by how shallow the game design is and how much money they put into it looking good, because I think that's the only thing business people understand. Like, I don't think they actually play games. They don't care about optimization. That's just an expense to them. They don't care about game design because they don't play the game, so it makes zero difference, you know. Just make it look, just do what this other game did. You know, look at fucking Highguard. Game looks great visually. Game design wise, it has done, I think, zero that no other game has done. Forget what I was responding to with that, but those are some thoughts. You use a weird engine for solo devs because it's so large team oriented. Yeah, it is. It is, yeah. The answer is your design department uses BP and your engineering department uses C++. Kappa. Yeah, I think that's probably how most studios do it, right? The game designers primarily work in blueprints, which I do like having the option for blueprints. I routinely say I hate blueprints, and I stand by that, but I do like having the option. There's a perfect video about C++ and blueprints by Alex Forsyth that answers this question. Spoiler, it depends on who you are and what you're building. Yeah. Like, if you're not a programmer, I imagine you do a lot more things in blueprints than I. Epic responded with a precise formula for the blend of C++/blueprint, and their answer was the amount that ships your game. Yeah, the very specific amount. That amount must be right next to the ship game checkbox. Yeah. Highguard is like AAA soup, yeah. It's nothing but investor trend chasing for guaranteed financial outcomes. Yeah, and then the outcome is not guaranteed. They've kind of like solidified that for themselves. They shoot the game. They're like, why would players do this? The Hannibal Buress meme. Gamer game has evolved. Always great to see your stream pop up my YouTube shorts. Hell yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Executive philosophy focuses on what you can measure. Ironically, they just often don't value polish. They budget for good enough. Yeah. And actually, I would argue that good enough is the perfect. That's perfect. Good enough, like, perfect is, they say perfect is the enemy of progress, right? And good enough is actually perfect. And I believe in that. But I think the executives aren't they aren't aiming for good enough. They're like halfway to good enough. Like, okay, we're launching in 2 months. Do what you can to optimize, right? I think there may be some developers, or maybe these are just like people in management positions who have heard the term like, don't prematurely optimize. And to them, that means don't optimize until the very end, which is not what that statement has ever meant. It's don't optimize before you know that you need to. Like, if those of you who have stuck around in my stream for a while, you'll know that I have optimized the shit out of some of my game already, because I know I needed it for what I wanted to get done. So I built the game. I rewrote gas into an ECS. You know, I built an ECS system on my own, right? I tried to make my own. That was kind of naive of me, and I probably shouldn't have done that. But I did it. I learned a lot. Ended up going with ENTT. Built a lot of systems on top of that. Figured out, Vertex animated textures. Did a lot of research there for skeletal meshes and stuff like that. Like, I'm trying to get the core of my game rock solid before I just start pumping out content, right? That's also a luxury that I have as an indie game dev who has a job outside of this. I don't have a timeline, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. Visual polish is relevant to marketing. Yeah. Good enough is barely being met today. Yeah, and I would argue in a lot of cases just not altogether. Even the name Highguard is basically a homonym of Overwatch. Yeah, it's such an uninspired name for sure. What's your opinion on the whole Ashes of Creation debacle? Ooh boy, do I have opinions on MMOs. Oh boy, don't get me started. Are we done developing today? I hope you guys heard that. I hope you guys heard those knuckle cracks. Yeah, so Ashes of Creation. When I first heard about it 10 years ago, it sounded very exciting. Sounded, some of the systems that they were thinking about, very, very ambitious. Which, who does that? Who scope creeps like that? Not me. Couldn't be me. But I was excited for it. And this was back before I was doing game dev, right? This is back, probably I was still playing like WoW. This is probably before Classic WoW came out too. So I was probably playing like fucking Battle for Azeroth or something like that. Which sucked. Fucking sucks. Retail WoW sucks for me. I don't like it. So yeah, my initial vibes were, oh, this is awesome. Sounds great. It's entirely funded by some rich guy who loves Ultima Online. Or no, it was Arcage. That was his game, Arcage. Yeah, cut to what was it? Maybe like 5 years ago, they started releasing like alpha keys for like $500. I think was one of their first things, and it's like, they were explicitly saying that this was for people who just wanted to be a part of the game, who wanted to support the game. If we don't launch the game, you'll get refunded. So it was kind of justifiable. I know some people were like, sussed out on it, and rightfully so. Rightfully, they should feel righteous now. And so it was somewhat justifiable. And I remember being like, $500 is a fucking lot, but like, I kind of put myself in that team's shoes. It's like, okay, yeah, you can kind of like give people some extra shit. It's a good way to get like serious alpha testers, right? People who will actually submit bugs, because they have skin in the game, right? It's a non-negligible amount of money for sure. What are you doing here? What are you doing? Sort pending build tiles? Yeah, this is one of the things that I need to build from source to fix. It's a weird one that hasn't happened in a while. So I kind of got it, and they've done that like there's like 3 different times they did that, right? They had a $250 one, right? And then they started like selling cosmetics for a game that didn't even exist yet. And I think that was the first time that I was like, okay, that's really fucking weird. For someone who he said verbatim, the project is fully funded. That was my first, like, that's kind of scummy. you know, is this guy who I knew at that time was previously a part of a MLM, which, if you don't know, those don't have great reputations. Those don't have great reputations. But there were some alphas, right? They ran some alphas, and I think by the time they were running alphas, I used to love testing out. Like, I played New World in its earliest alpha state, so I used to enjoy kind of doing that stuff. What is happening to my fucking game right now? Yeah, so the ragdoll doesn't work, so that might have had something to do with that. So had I not been like balls deep into game dev at the time that those alphas came out, I probably would have considered trying them, despite them being hundreds of dollars. And I liked some of the harder core things that they were going to go for. I think once they actually released on Steam, which they said they were never going to do, and everyone who played the alphas said that they were nowhere near close for that, and that's a really weird move. And by that point, I had heard enough about the game design where they were doing this kind of hardcore stuff, which I think is fine, but they were like kind of completely neglecting the casual player base, which I think was a massive mistake. And I think if you entirely neglect the casual or solo player part of an MMO, or you entirely neglect the harder core or group content, that's a bad move. Like, you can have different ratios. You can cater more to casual players, you can cater more to hardcore players, you can cater more to group play, you can cater more to solo play, but you do have to have some of both on some ratio, and then after that it's all about the execution. And once I started watching streams of the latest Steam test, I kind of started, I felt bad, because I was just like, I was so passionate about how not good their game design ended up being that I kind of wanted it to fail. And I felt bad because I'm like, why would I, if someone saw my game design and just wanted me to fail because they didn't agree with it, like, that would feel bad to me. So I kind of felt guilty for feeling that, but I would be lying if I said that I didn't kind of feel that. And I started looking at how unpolished the game was. They just had an entire biome just had floating assets. The entire, like not even just a little bit either. Like, they were like above your head in some places. And like, I don't know if you look at this, but like, these are all procedurally generated, like where floating assets kind of are an issue in some places. And I have less than they do. And they have been at this point in development for 10 years with allegedly 250 people. And when I heard that, I was like, yeah, something is up. And I think people were justifying it by saying like, oh, they were a small team up until like a year or two ago. They only really just got into like full production, you know? And I'm like, okay, so they were like a small team for 7 years, 6, 7 years, 8 years. I mean, it was clear the guy didn't know how to make a game. And that makes sense. But yeah, once I heard like that they were like needing funding and shit and like spending that much fucking money, I'm like, yeah, you cannot take 10 years to put out what they did. Like, I think I could put out what they did in 10 years by myself, to be honest with you. And yeah, inexperienced leadership will absolutely hamstring that, and that's kind of what it seemed to be. And like, what game is this? This is my game. I'm just working on a game. We're talking about Ash as a creation right now. But I was like, I was like kind of justifying it in my head, but I was just like, that, like, fixing things like the floating assets in a biome, like, dude, that's one person a week tops. Like, I don't even know what kind of, and they're working in Unreal Engine, so it's not like it's that much different from what we do here in this community, right? So Odd, I don't know, or those in the chat, like, if you actually saw some of the Ashes gameplay and work on Unreal Engine, like, fixing some of the blatant, and like this is for a Steam launch. Like this is high visibility, right? A lot of streamers playing this. Don't know how on earth you could let that go in that state. So once I started seeing that shit, I'm like, yeah, this game should fail. And I kind of want it to fail because they seem to have fucked up so many times. I still didn't think it was like a scam, but I just thought it was gross negligence. But then yeah, I was shocked when I saw that pop up on Reddit. I think my jaw opened. I was like, no fucking way. Like literally a month after the Steam release, the Steam early access release. And like there were people, I remember hearing people, they say that they were having fun with it. And like, you know, it was all entirely group content. They only had quests up to level 6 or 5 or something like that. Some low level, which is like the first few hours of the game. So yeah, I think it's deserved because of how grossly incompetent they were. Now, if it was a scam and it was a rug pull, which it kind of seems like it was, the thing is like, I think he probably, my guess is that he was like, you know what, I like games, I like arcades, I have a lot of money, I'm bored, let me try to make one. If it doesn't work out, I'll just fucking scam them. I think that was probably his mindset. But then I think he probably lost money. I think he lost a lot of fucking money because he signed the ownership of his house over to his partner, right? Something like that. He like sold his house or something like that. Like, it's like, yeah, I think he got in way too fucking deep. I don't, even if you don't know how to make games, I have no idea how you spend 10 years and only have what they had to show. I mean, and I know it's not all about what you have to show, it's about what's underlying that takes a long time. But like the things that were very shallow about what they had to show were such easy fucking fixes. It was kind of crazy to me. Let me catch up on chat here. I have a base gameplay for an MMO style gameplay that uses the character movement component and gas, and I'm always tempted to just rebuild from scratch. Yeah, I mean, my combat's going to be MMO-esque as well. And I started with gas. And I have the character movement component on here, although it's using ALS. Overrides a lot of that. But I had to rebuild it because I'm also going to have like a ton of entities. And when I was using gas, I could get about 200 entities all in combat, all attacking at about 20 FPS in editor. And then once I rewrote gas's functionality into my ENTT ECS system, I could get about 2,000 entities in combat all at once, all attacking, right? So, and that's like a lot of CPU time, right? Which is the thing that MMO, that's what costs, that's server cost right there. So I don't know what Ashes was using for their combat. Yeah, I don't think gas is good for like super performant combat. Clouds are nice. Yeah, it was one of the free asset packs. I'll have to get Jed's though, once he's done with that. A buddy of mine played with him back in the day and pretty much forbid me from buying into it. That's crazy. Just from playing games with the guy. That's funny. Not even like being in business with him. The whole world balance is that the hardcore players need the casual players. Yeah, you need the game to grow. Yeah. Probably the problem is that they were just inexperienced and most likely hired the wrong people for a while. Yeah. Hired the wrong people, had them working on the wrong things, changed their minds a million times, didn't have a plan. Probably all of it. All of the above, I think, were necessary. I know they started on Unreal Engine 4 and moved to Unreal Engine 5. Like, that can't have been a cheap decision to make, right? Like, you see here, like, I have some floating assets that don't look too hot. Ashes was worse. by like 10 times. It was like 10 times worse. Absolutely no artistic direction. Yeah, I thought the art didn't match the fidelity, which I think is very important, which is why I wanted to go stylized for my game, because I know, like, if you look at my terrain, it's got sharp edges. Because I want to run the whole world, I can't make a super high, like, I am, like, the algorithm is capable of producing a super high resolution terrain that looks a lot more realistic, but because I want to run this whole world, I can't have that many vertices. It's just too much data, too much memory. There are ways I can cut down on that. I think I'll maybe go like one resolution higher, but like, you know, if I had a super realistic art style, I couldn't pull this. This would look like shit. It's kind of okay now. Like, it's not a big deal because it's all like kind of stylized and your brain accepts it more, right? So to me, their art style did not match the fidelity. Like the animation transitions and stuff that they had looked really awkward. I heard people say combat felt really good. And some of the VFX looked pretty good. Like, I think the, like, individual animations looked good, but the way it all came together, janky. I heard secondhand that there was a lot of churn. Most people didn't last a year on the team. Lots of scummy behavior scared away great talent. Even with that, like, I'm sure that's true. And maybe Adder has more info on that. I'm sure that's true, but it's just like, dude, like, so many things had to have gone wrong. To fucking 10 years, hundreds of millions of dollars. Their burn rate, didn't he say their burn rate was like 40 mil a year? Like, that's insane, man. Give me fucking 400K. Give me a fucking 100th of that. Is that a 100th? I think that's a 100th. Give me 1/100th of that, and I will make you the best fucking game you've ever goddamn seen. And that's my promise. It's a little arrogant of me to say, but like, I'm just saying that as to like how negligent they were to spend that money, right? Probably rebuilt the game 4 times, yeah. My buddy said Steven was a huge scammer back in the day too. That's why he forbid me from buying into it early. Oh, he was where there's some Arcade scams. I never really played Arcade. Yeah, we've all fallen for an MMO like trade window scam. Oh, put your gear, trade me the gear, give me the gold first, and then don't, you know, when they're kids. When Jeffrey Bard left AOC, that's when I knew it was not going great. Not sure who that is. Who is that, Aurelius? Welcome in, by the way. How feasible do you think it is to have a pay-to-play MMO running on a consensus algorithm? Are you talking about like the voting that like RuneScape does? Is that what you mean by consensus algorithm, or do you mean something more technical than that? Is it important to have consistent asset quality? If you want to use nice looking terrain, everything has to be nice looking. Yeah, totally agree. And I think a lot of games get that wrong. Like, they don't match the fidelity across the board. Transitions, animations, VFX, terrain, you know. It just has to match. It doesn't all have to be amazing. And like, whenever I see a game that looks amazing, I'm like, oh god, they're not spending enough money on game design. They're not spending enough money elsewhere. They spent way too much on that. Which is why I hope Fable doesn't suck, because Fable was a beloved game of mine back in the day. Played a lot of Fable 3. Played a good amount of Fable 2. Peer-to-peer. Yeah, I have no idea what the technicals of that would look like. I suppose you're asking from a technical standpoint, not like a business standpoint. If you have like 150 to 200 people, it's gonna be expensive. Yeah, which is like, what the fuck were those people doing? Like, the fuck were those people doing for fucking 10 years, man? Have you considered crowdfunding? People will be more inclined to invest when they see you have a good base already. Yeah, I don't think I'm there yet. Maybe. Maybe. Not quite ready to quit my job yet, though. I got some things I need to accomplish before I do that. If I ever get there. But yeah, the whole situation is it's hilarious. These, like, the Ghost Crawler MMO got canceled as well, which I was actually interested to see the Ghost Crawler MMO because of their red and blue zones design, which is actually sort of similar to something that I have thought in the past. And one of the reasons I wanted to do procedural terrain was because, you know, if someday, God willing, that I can never make an MMO, it would be interesting to have an MMO with procedural content. And I would love to have, like, I think having an outlet for player creativity is a very positive thing for an MMO. Because it's just a whole nother, and I hate that I'm about to use this term, but it's a whole nother vertical for progression in the game. And when you can have a procedural world, like each player has their own kind of procedural world to like build their colony in, which is what I plan to do. Having an MMO where you can travel to other people's worlds and check out or attack other people, I think would be fucking interesting. So I was very interested to see the Ghost Crawler MMO and what they did with that. But yeah, NetEase shut that down. Did you model your character after yourself? I can recognize them cheeks anywhere. I told you not to tell the people about my cheeks. I told you, Brightside. We talked about this. Time for a new seed, I guess. That's what that means. I've been through 850 seeds. What makes MMO such a creative nightmare compared to co-op RPGs? It's the live service part of it. It's the, oh, we have to keep going. Because if we don't keep going, we can't pay the server costs. It's the dedicated server part. Costs money. They need to keep churning out content to keep players playing, to keep players paying. I think that's, you have to design to support the business. And I think it's possible to, like, you know, like No Man's Sky. Take No Man's Sky, for instance. It is kind of an MMO. Kind of. I mean, I don't think it's that massive, but like, they've got dedicated servers. There's just kind of hubs, right? Where you see other players, apparently. So I think it is possible to just have like a different business model for it, but like I think the days of building an MMO, going from zero to, like, I think every MMO that has failed recently has done this. This is step one. This is the start. This is zero. Actually, yeah, this is zero. Zero. Start. This is MMO. God damn, I suck. MMORPG. Every game that has done this has failed. Like, I think the only kind of companies that can do this anymore are companies that A, have a ton of fucking resources already. They have cash in the bank. And I think also what is important is that they have a beloved IP. I think you need an IP to make this work. You can't just start this from scratch, fresh new world, because no one's going to care about it enough to keep playing if you do the traditional MMO way. So what company is doing this right now? I think that's probably one of the only companies that can succeed. You know, are there some other IPs out there that this could work for? Yeah, right, you got it. I think it's a beloved IP. They might as well have infinite resources. They're the only ones that can go from zero to fucking launch. So I think this path is kind of over in terms of MMOs. I'm not sure there's a whole lot of other IPs that could do this. Maybe Warhammer, but like Warhammer is an IP that has kind of been fragmented across so many different companies. Like anyone can fucking make a Warhammer game, it seems like. So it has to be like kind of one company. So I think what the better path is, and like they go MMO first in game design as well. They already have MMO. Riot already has an MMO? What do you mean? And like what I'm about to say will make more sense for Riot too. So I think what you actually have to do is step one, make game. That should actually be your step one. And this is single player. Or at the very least, you have to make a game. Right, is working on one. Yes, I know. That's why I said that. Many years away, though. Yeah, I think it is still. And I think they said it almost got canceled, too, right? Wasn't that? And then they're like, oh, no, we're still working on it or something. But I think you have to do this. I think this is the new way to make an MMO. This is the new way to make an MMO. You have to make a game, and you have to make it single player, or at least you have to focus on solo play. You have to. Because if people don't play your game, you need it to still be a good game, right? Like you can't have your game be good only if other people play it. I think that is a massive mistake, and you're going to just shoot yourself in the foot. That's why these games that are coming out that are just 5v5 hero shooters, or whatever it is, like it's just not going to succeed because people don't care about the game outside of other players playing it. So I think you have to start with a single player experience. Now, what's the next step? What's the next step? It is, as you say, Fosrook, the multiplayer. And there is a game designer who he was a quest designer on Warcraft 3 that I watch on YouTube sometimes. And he says that AAA used to mean something. Each A in AAA used to mean something. And he said that meant a single player experience, a multiplayer experience, and then a map editor. That's what that used to mean. And the third one I've kind of reinterpreted to mean some sort of creative outlet. To me, that's what that is. If I boil down, why is that A impactful? Why is a map creator impactful? It's because the players can get more out of the game because they have a way to creatively express themselves via content. Now, you could replace that with modding, right? That can fill that void. You can replace that with base building. That is a creative outlet that players can use and get indefinite content out of, right? So something like that. So yeah, when you say you need a multiplayer experience still, I think all games should. Maybe now, okay, I take that back. Not all games should be multiplayer, but all multiplayer games should have a single player mode. I think. You know, like look at Halo. Most people played Halo multiplayer. Why did they do that though? Because it was a beloved IP. Why was it a beloved IP? Because of the single player experience. So I think you make it multiplayer, and we're not even to the MMO part, right? This is like multiplayer, but like self hosted, right? Like you just let players host themselves. And then the fourth one, or the third, this is 3 because I started at 0. 3 is you do dedicated servers or official servers. We'll say in quotes, official. Like, and I think Minecraft is here, and like they kind of do have like sort of official servers, right? Like they have servers that are built into the game, right? So Minecraft is one step away from being an MMO. I think Roblox is here too. Fortnite is here too, right? And then after you have official servers, then you can make that step. Then you have to optimize to make sure that it's cost effective to run here. I think that's how you do it. And then by the time you get here, what do you have? The IP. because you've done all this. You've made a single player game. You have vetted the IP with this first step, right? People have gotten into it here. You know, you release this. Do you get enough money to do the next part? You get enough money to make it multiplayer, right? And you make it multiplayer. Do you get enough money to run official servers? Do you get enough money from running official servers? Okay. Do you have enough money and, you know, technical capabilities to make an MMORPG? Then you can do it, right? This is the way to make MMOs now. I agree with this take a little too much. I'm hot and bothered. Yeah, that's all. This is what I have in my head. Like, will I make an MMO someday? Probably fucking not. But like, I'm not gonna go right here. I would honestly love a game similar to Baldur's Gate 3, but is more MMO-ish with dungeons and raids. So how would you do that turn-based? It's an interesting design space. You know, turn-based MMO. And Baldur's Gate 3, very story-driven. Very story-driven. You know, it is fun playing multiplayer, but like, you kind of have to, in my opinion, you kind of have to have played it a few times and know the story to play with friends, because everyone's kind of a little frantic, a little scatterbrained, running all over the place. You miss stuff, you know. Blizzard built single player, then single player with multiplayer features, BNet, and then WoW. Yeah, same with kind of same with Riot, right? They went straight here though, or no, I guess they went straight here, but it was super small scale, like 10 people. So, but yeah, Blizzard started with single player games. Minecraft is a perfect example of a successful blend between the multiplayer and single player experience. Yeah, yeah. And they just have a whole ecosystem of modding and creativity, right? Same with Roblox and Fortnite. Funnily enough, the plan was for Diablo 3 to be an MMO, apparently. Yeah, it's weird how, like, Diablo tried to get closer to WoW, and WoW tried to get closer to Diablo in a lot of design aspects, which, you know, it's just kind of like, that's the Blizzard soup. That's the Blizzard too many cooks in the kitchen soup of homogenization. The Blizzard homogenization special. Not only are all classes in retail WoW very similar, but now all games at Blizzard are going to be even similar too. Different coat of paint on each one though. Yes, the Warlock casts purple frostbolts. Yes. Purple fireballs. And the Diablo game has a dark skin on top of it, right? Could you please quickly answer my question? How do you play that music? It's awesome. It looks like it's a Linux box terminal. It's called, you typed it out. You typed out exactly probably what you can type into Google. Amuse. Search Amuse on Google. That is the OBS plugin. Turn-based MMO exists. Dofus is exactly this. Okay, let's look at Dofus. I'm going to go ahead and guess that this is not very popular. That looks like a mobile game. That looks like a mobile game. This is either a mobile game or a flash game from, this is like from the times of Club Penguin. Hard to say if they've nailed the MMO turn-based formula or not. God, this is just furry city, isn't it? Oh, Jesus. It predates mobile games. Yeah, okay. That makes more sense. It probably did come from the time of Club Penguin. I used to play Maple Story a lot. Who knows Maple Story? This was my guilty pleasure. It was my guilty pleasure back in the day. This was about, like, everyone was playing RuneScape. I think you had to pay back in the day for RuneScape, right? I think that's why I couldn't play it, because my parents wouldn't pay for games. So I played this game, which was free. Where's some combat? Yeah, it was a 2D side-scroller. Super grindy. Super kawaii Korean. But I liked what they did with their class system. Like there were 4 base archetypes. Warrior, magician, bowman, thief. And then once you got to level 30, you could kind of pick a specialization, or they were called jobs. It was like second job, and then the hierarchy got deeper, so you could go all the way up to 4th job, and each job that you got to like changed your archetype considerably. But yeah, and then they tried to make a 3D one, I think. But yeah, that was like my old school MMO. That was before I played WoW. I don't know if you've seen new Overwatch characters, but they all look like copy-pasted the existing ones. I think I saw a title that was like Overwatch 2 is just Overwatch. Is that what we're talking about? I woke up and Club Penguin is killed. Much sad, very cry. I never got too into Club Penguin. Or what was the other one? Habbo Hotel. That was another big one. What do you think about Anthropic CEO's recent claim about AI? Should junior devs pivot to some other fields? Dude, the guy also said that Claude was going to be writing 100% of code in 6 months, and he said that 12 months ago. So all these CEOs have a financial incentive to say shit like that. I know that they're saying that like, oh, Claude writes 90%, 100% of our code. We'll see how that pays off in the long run. I still don't think it's like I don't think that's financially viable to have AI write all of your code. And to not write any of your own code. I think the only reason Anthropic can do that is one, they have access to the best coding models. They might have a different one internally than we have. It's even better than 4.6 that just came out. And 2, they have VC money that they can spend. They have billions that they can spend. And they don't have to make a profit yet. RuneScape has free and the member-only zones. I spent several years in the free mode until I finally convinced my dad for the member subscription. I thought the free mode was literally just like Tutorial Island. Is it more than that? I was never a huge RuneScape player. Where are we? We are in Starfall Crag. It's right next to the Burning Reach. That's where we came from. We came from the Burning Reach. Oh, that's all ocean over there. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. I should probably get back to work, though. I should probably get back to trying to figure out the snocketing. And this was looking okay. I guess I never tested the walls, though. Oh, the walls are working now, too. Did I nail it? I think I just need to fix the line trace, and then we're probably Gucci. God, dude, the fucking debug drawings are nasty. Ah, interesting. Yeah, so now we can't select that side snocket. My favorite MMOs are EverQuest 2 and Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online didn't hit for me, and I enjoyed Skyrim quite a bit, but I don't know. The combat in Elder Scrolls, to me, left a lot to be desired. Okay, so I can't socket into the side ones anymore, which I should be able to do. I sort of could there for a hot second. Oh my god. Okay, look away. Interesting. Yeah, I did play EverQuest for a hot. Like, I tried it out, basically. Had no idea what the fuck to do. Black Desert Online, honorable mention for combat system. Yeah, I played a lot of Black Desert Online. They did some things well. They did some things really well, but unfortunately the things they did bad were catastrophic, I think. I mean, they're still a successful company, it seems. It's still running, so it's not that catastrophic. I guess I just mean catastrophic in terms of like, that could have been a great MMO, like an all-time great. It's up there, I guess, still, but like the upgrade system. Oh my god, how fucking bad was the upgrade system? I really loved the worker system where you could go out in the world and you discover these nodes, and there's different resources in the nodes, and you can build basically like these little supply chains, these little pipelines. You can get workers, and you gotta like, and it all fed into each other, which was really nice, right? You could make beer from cooking, and the better your cooking was, the higher quality beer you could make, which gave your workers more energy to go run out to these different nodes and, you know, go chop wood and stuff like that. And you can make these little transport crates where you could transport them with your caravans from A to B and like sell them for money. And it was kind of like a passive way to get money in the game, which was cool. It was really fun. I loved exploring the world. Now, it was sad that the questing system basically, it didn't give you very much XP. It was actually just better to grind in Black Desert Online, which I think was another thing that was done poorly. Now, I don't mind a bit of grinding. But what they did is they did the typical pay-to-win formula, which is pay to get bonus XP, which kind of ruins grinding, honestly. And they did this thing where they gave you an hour of double XP every day just for logging in. And the combat is really good looking, but it's also very high octane. It's very high intensity. And so in a game where it's like really grindy in terms of like XP, and also you get this 1 hour of double XP, it creates this situation where it's like, okay, every day for an hour, I have to go out and grind if I want to like keep up or whatever, you know? And that hour sucked, I'll be honest with you. The combat was fun, and when I was just questing, running around the world, killing quest mobs, I had a lot of fun with the combat. And I feel the same with WoW. Like, I can quest in WoW forever, and I will not get tired. That fucking hour grinding in Black Desert Online, trying to be efficient, trying to go from pack to pack. I don't want to miss out on my hour of double XP because it's so grindy, you know. I can't die because I lose XP. Oh my god, it just created this, like, this experience that I didn't like. Like, I had eye fatigue really bad because my eyes were glued to the screen. There was no opportunity to sit and drink and look away from the screen, you know, organize my bags, you know, look at my talents, look at my character sheet. No time for that. I didn't like that part either. I wish the questing and the open world stuff had a bigger impact in the game. And they only had open world dungeons. They didn't have instance dungeons, which is an interesting choice. And the open world dungeons were just grind spots. They, you know, they weren't like an experience, a start to finish experience, right? You know, in the free zone, there's still a lot of content, but when you start to get to the higher levels and complete all the free game before you start. Will your game be able to create mods and upload mod packs on the appearance of the structure and so on? Maybe. That's pretty far down the road for me, though, but maybe. That's where all the fun stuff is. Yeah. Biggest problem I'm seeing with AI is that all this stuff depends on those big companies. I don't want my capability to work to depend on them. I would question if your capability to work already doesn't. You know, if you're a coder, you use Google. Sorry. You're already dependent on Google. Sure, there's DuckDuckGo. I suppose that's a fallback. Like, our work already depends on them. And I get the sentiment. I agree with you that it's scary for that. But, like, it's to the point now where it's like, you're gonna be worth less if you don't use AI at all. Right. I don't think you need to use AI entirely. I don't think you will need to either, but you know, you need to use it somewhat. I use a lot of the AI autocompletes. I don't like vibe coding, but the AI autocompletes are really nice. You can add blockchain to this game. I hope not. I hope I don't make such a bad decision. Yeah, nothing really ruins the vibe of a game like bringing like real money into it. Look at this nice biome transition here. You guys see this? Here's my straight line biome transition. It's nice though. You got a nice flat zone here, and then you walk into this super craggy zone. Ideally, the terrain textures will be different as well, so it feels quite different, and it's not just like, oh, the terrain is a little different. Like, it's obviously not that exciting. I want the terrain to be made out of different materials. A little shelf here. That's cool. If BDO had a better upgrade system, more of a tank healer DPS structure, an actual PvE questing / dungeons rather than mob grinding would be top tier. I agree. That's exactly what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, have some instanced dungeons where you can kind of like have a... they don't need to be like the best content, right? They don't need to be like, oh, why would you ever go out in the open world again? I think that's also a mistake, especially for BDO. But like, you can have some like canned experiences that will be positive for the game. And yeah, I love an MMO where there are roles to fill. I think that makes players feel like more impacted by the game, like more into the game. I love seeing the trees on the tops of the mountains. It creates this really cool, like, ooh, what's over there? And I really hope that my procedural chops can get good enough to where... Who played Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom? Like this tree, it looks like one of those trees where you would find a Korok. You know, there's like an apple here or something, and if you take the apple, a Korok pops out. I want to do some shit like that, you know? Like if there's just a single tree sitting on a fucking mountain, I want to make it special. Maybe I'll figure out a way to do that. I see you activated walking mode simulator. Walking simulator mode. Yeah, chat did by talking about... It was Ashes of Creation that initially started it. I love the open world flag / honor PvP system. Fighting for your spot broke up the monotony of grinding. Yeah, I mean, that's the route Ashes of Creation went as well. Or maybe that's what you're talking about. But BDO had kind of the same thing. I don't know, I'm back and forth on it. Because, like, I hail from PvP servers. Back in WoW. So, like, you could kind of do that. I guess I don't like games. I like a 2-faction game. 3 factions, I don't know if it works. I have some ideas on how to make it work, but like, I don't know if it works. Like, oh, you dropped my leaf there, Sage's leaf. It does have my name on it, so that's mine. Sorry, Ada. I bet you didn't know you made my leaves, but those are mine. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how... I liked the... Like, you could do that in WoW. You could fight for your spot in WoW. But it was like, because there are factions, it meant you got more help, right? And I think that created more... like, teamwork, right? It created more of a community. Because it's like, in Black Desert Online or Ashes of Creation, there's no factions, so you can just kill anyone. And at that point, like, no one wants to help you. But if you say, like, hey, there's some alliance fuckers over here pushing my shit in, you know, your guild shows up. Everyone else in the zone who wants some world PvP shows up, right? It's a different experience than when everyone can just kill anyone for whatever reason. Alliance filth, that's right. And we played on a server, we played on Swifty's server. Swifty, he was a famous warrior back in the day. He made a lot of PvP videos. And I think all of us had like screenshots of us killing Swifty at some point. I'm sure he had, if he wanted to, he would have had way more screenshots of him killing us. But every time we're like, oh, I found Swifty, the whole guild would roll up. Like, he could not go anywhere on the server without people rolling up on him. Which was a fun experience. Damn it, I have some protein run out for that buff guy to hunt. Yeah. Dude, you have to, like, animate creatures. Like, what the fuck, man? I gotta model a creature, get some different texture variations for it, and then also get it animated, and then also get some sounds. My god. My god. Good versus evil is always a cool PvP theme. Well, I think you need... You know, obviously Horde are like the more eviler... But they're not like evil, right? It's just kind of like two different sides. Two different vibes, I mean to say. I don't know if people like... I think you gotta give some people some kind of good to go off of. A little bit more gray. Stream froze on. I didn't hear anything in the response. I was asking about whether there will be a working store system to download mods of a character. I mean, buddy, that's so far away from... I don't even have a name for the game yet. Like, I would like for mods to be a thing. What that looks like, I have no idea. That's super far down the road. And don't forget refactoring those creatures. Yeah, yeah. I don't... It's not perfectionism. It's not perfectionism. Why I refactor. It's because I Yagni, right? I don't write systems that handle things that I don't already know I should handle. So I end up having to refactor. When I do things just in time, right? I don't do things ahead of time. Not my style. I do things when and where they're necessary. So that's why the building refactor has kind of been... It's something I know I'll need to do at some point, but it never really presented itself to me in a way where it's like, yeah, this I need to happen now. I let the game tell me what it wants. Right? I'm the game whisperer. Yeah, I always try to just go with the simplest solution to the problem. I have to keep reminding myself of that. Like, just make it work first, right? Just make it work first. You can refactor it later. And I have to keep reminding myself of that. Look at those little quaint little god rays coming there. BDO was more guild-based. I remember the first time my guild rolled up on me when I got jumped at a grind spot. What an awesome memory. They actually did that. I was never a part of a guild that had that kind of a vibe. I never really did a whole lot of the guild content. I did a few of the, like, I forget what they were called, but they were like little base raids. I did a few of those. Where you had to, like, find the enemy's base or whatever. See, I need some solution for walking around because sometimes I just hit sharp terrain. This is interesting. An interesting procedural occurrence here, which is my man taint. Look at it. I need to fix the camera is like, the camera's collision changed at some point. I need it to do that thing where it, like, you know, once I get to this point where it starts doing this, I need it to actually, like, the pivot point to be like up here, you know, like above, still above his head. What specs does your PC have? The motherboard is a potato with just some wires plugged into it. The processor is just a couple gerbils, which are actually my dogs, just my dogs running in little hamster wheels. And the RAM is my grandmother's. They just remember the data and feed it back to the potato. And then the GPU is it's actually a call center in some eastern country that I've contracted to just send me pictures, MS Paint pictures every frame. Just saying that in some sense it would be interesting with custom servers from new structures to some NPC. What are your ideas for the future? I gotta make the game first, my man. I got enough ideas as it is. So I think the building system is actually looking pretty decent. I think it's actually looking pretty decent. Just a couple things. Yeah, that's an issue. But I can't seem to... Yeah, that rotation is correct. Oh, interesting. Why is it... It's doing the... Drawing the box of the foundation. Node Wars, yeah. Ooh, you were in the top? Tier 1 Northwest Guild? Or... Also had the Black Robe NPC. You could type in a player's name and give them their exact location. Ooh, I didn't know about that one. Get up to this hole. Don't know if I can get up to this hole. He thinks I can. He thinks I can. Oh no! Alright, stairs. Okay, never mind. Foundation. Oh my god, is there not a... Oh no! Yeah, I need to work on the collision for... Where was that? There was like one little spot. This should be fine. All four of the posts are in the ground, so that might be incorrect. I might have some bug there. Oh my god. Oh no, the stairs don't snap. Oh, it said it could. Interesting. Oh, maybe it was snapping to this one in the... Yeah, it was snapping to that one, but in the wrong location. Interesting. Well, it'll work for getting me over there. If I don't mess up the jump. There we go. Nice. Where am I at now? I just came from the Howling... This is the Howling Cliffs of the Banshee. Not a bad name. There needs to be a Banshee boss in that zone, though. And this is Stormvale Plateau. Stormvale Plateau. See, I hate little things like this. Like, I should just be able to jump up that, you know? Wow, this is nice. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, a lot of hard work went into making this procedural terrain, but I'm really happy with it. Oh, yeah, I changed the attack animations. Oh, but they don't have a... I think I have to turn the collision on. What's the size of that map? This is... So each pixel on here is a terrain chunk. The map is 128 by 128 pixels. If I zoom in here, this is 1 pixel, which is 12,000 Unreal Schmeckles. And there's all the stuff that I've already explored. So I'm showing about 1, 2, 3, about a 3 or 4, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll go about a 4 pixel radius here. So that's... I'm showing about this big. And so I think what we probably saw when I zoomed out was probably like up to here. So I started at 0, 0, which is right there. So what we zoom out and see is about this right here. So it's pretty big. It's pretty big. Odd, are you streaming today? Asking for a friend. But yeah, let me see the yeah, let me see this. Weapon active, weapon inactive. Okay. No streaming, just studying animation retargeting. I just did a bunch of that myself, so let me know if there's anything I can help you with. That's not what I wanted. I had to retarget all of the ALS animations to my new character skeletons. I think I've been trying to do that in my little game I'm making for me and my son to play. Do what? Procedural terrain? We need to add some notifiers for weapon active and inactive for the tree chopping. Probably like right there for that one. Go active right there. Maybe I should fucking put an axe on there as well. That could help. Yeah, preview asset. Yeah, procedural terrain is fun. But it can get pretty complicated depending on you know, how far you take it. Okay, do those just update in the asset? I hope they do. I hope I don't have to restart here. Oh, look at that. That feels so much better than my shitty wood axe animation, I gotta say, guys. That feels... Even though he's not swinging horizontally, which I think my animator's gonna work on that pretty soon. Bro, that's pretty sick. I don't feel like I'm actually... Like, I feel like that's it feels like that's a predetermined location that I'm chopping at. Bro, that feels so good. Oh my god. My jacked dude is a lumberjack now. My god. I like that how he swings from different directions, too. That is pretty sweet. Oh my god, that feels nice. That feels fucking nice, dude. Okay, I can't wait till I get the pickaxe animations, too. I just got bow animations, but I haven't done anything with them. I like how it does this little bounce. Whenever I chop through. How much wood do I have? So much wood. Okay, let's build a house. Build a house. I don't know if I can, but we're gonna try. The snapping might be a little off here. Okay. Although that one got messed up. I need a color picker. Like middle mouse button or something. There we go. Gotta have the floor. You gotta have the floor planks aligned. Okay, that did take the wood. How much? It doesn't say though. My looks like it's actually chopping where the axe hits. That's awesome. Yeah, it is. It is, actually. Before I had, like, a really shitty animation that I made myself. But he would chop actually, like, completely horizontally. And it was a lot more believable. The animation was terrible. Do I not have it? Oh, I used all of my wood already. My widget doesn't work anymore. It should tell you how much wood you need. Wait, how is this still working? I'm confused. Am I still using the actor? So what it does... I guess I still... Oh yeah, it's the actor, but a different... Interesting. Okay, so... the logic is, whenever this smaller wedge collides with the tree, it subtracts the larger wedge out of the tree. That's what it does. But I guess it's actually chopping horizontally because I changed the base rotation of this mesh. I didn't mean to do this. This is just how it came out. But yeah, that does seem to be the case, odd. Because that used to be aligned with the blade of the axe. But then the animation changed, and then my animator changed the base rotations of the static meshes so that they socketed cleanly in his hands. Because this used to be upright. Now it's laying on its side. Which I gotta find the old one. Let me actually get like the let me actually get the material here. Yay. Now the axe looks like an axe. So yeah, I bet if I... Oh, P was not the right button to press. What is the... Is it Alt? It's Alt C, isn't it? Oh my god, it's so laggy. Yeah, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it pop up. It's so laggy, though. Oh no, pause. Yeah, you can see the new geometry that it created. Oof. Yeah, but there, that I guess that wedge is doing that. Yeah. Okay, do I have... There's one of my famous floating assets. Okay, where's my house at? You know, you want a house in the woods, and then you deforest all the woods around you, and then you don't have a house in the woods anymore. This does take a lot of wood, which I like. I like that it takes a lot of wood. I want there to be a bit of a scarcity of resources. I think I want a scarcity of resources, and potentially a scarcity of XP. So, tell me if you guys think this is a bad idea. But I don't want there to be difficulty levels in the game. I want there to be one difficulty. Bad idea? Can you mod me?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And then what I want to do is, because this is a roguelite, so when you die you will start over at level 1. But what I'm planning to do when you die, there'll be a small time skip, a static time skip when you die. And you'll respawn, your colony will still be there. The world will still be there, but maybe some of the mob camps that you've already cleared out, rather than having them respawn, I'll probably do a little bit of respawning, but rather than having them respawn, I'll wait until the next run. And then I'll respawn something different there. Like maybe there's a cave full of spiders. You go clear that out. They're low-level spiders. You clear that out. The next run, I think the trees should regrow. Yeah, they do. They do eventually. They're just, well, no, they don't. It doesn't work right now, but they have regrowth settings. It's just not ticking right now, but they will regrow. Yeah. But anyways, say there's a cave full of spiders. You clear it out, at level 5 in the last run. Let's say maybe you get up to level 20, or maybe 10 or 15. You die. You're going to start over at level 1, but there's meta progression. So I think there's going to be some like a meta progression currency to make your character passively stronger in some ways. To maybe roll the dice in your favor the next time around. And when you respawn, maybe some bandits have moved into that cave because you cleared them out. Because you cleared it out full of spiders. Maybe these bandits are, level 6, level 7. this time around. Because you've gotten stronger, you cleared things out, and the world has gotten stronger, right? So I kind of want you to be able to lose in a way to where the world outpaced you, and now it's really difficult because you haven't made good decisions. You haven't ran, you know, good builds and stuff like that, right? But I also want it to have kind of an opt-in difficulty level to it, and this is what I mean by, like, I don't want difficulty settings, but what I want is like a varied amount of content. You know, maybe, you know, there's some other area outside of that cave that you cleared out that still has some level 5 mobs in it, you know, that you didn't clear out last time. And so if you have a bad build, you can kind of go over there to some of the lower level stuff, finish that off, you know, before you go into the higher level stuff that where you might get killed, right? It's more risky, more risk, more reward kind of vibe. And so it's like you don't set the difficulty level at the beginning of the game, but you do opt into the difficulty of the content that you try to accomplish, right? I'm really surprised my frame rate is not lower, because these are all individual. individual. Do I even have nanite turned on for them? I don't know, because they're dynamic mesh components, so I can't. I should be baking them into static meshes. I forgot if I ever did that. Yeah, no, they are not nanite. That would help a lot, because in nanite, one material is one draw call, no matter how many times you use it. So that'll help with the rendering if I can bake those into static meshes. Is this the game in action? It is. Yes, it is. There's just trees everywhere, which don't do anything anymore. Eventually, I'll have you like have to, yeah, patented indie physics right there. Eventually I'll have you have to like take these and process them further, like chop them down at first, and then maybe you can get a lumber mill, get some colonists working at a lumber mill, that kind of thing. One philosophy is you don't have to have difficulty setting with deliberately over/underpower items. Players can create their own challenges. See, I don't know if I like that way either. Where it's like, oh yeah, there's some super OP thing in the game, and then it's on you to not use it. I don't like when games make the player be the parent. Like, I think that's the job of the game designer. Like, you have to make sure the kids eat their dinner before they have dessert, right? You can't let them have dessert all the time, which is like the fun, overpowered things, right? You got to have some friction in the game. And so many times I've seen the argument of like, oh, if you don't like it, just don't use it. And it's like, well, it's in the fucking game. Like, now I as a player have to have this conscious like, ooh, that thing's really good, but just don't use it, because you know it'll ruin your experience. I see that as a failure of the game design, and I don't want to have to be the fucking parent in the game. So I would prefer difficulty modes over that. Over something like that. Guild Wars 2 has a great concept. You mentor down to the zone level. It keeps all zones relevant regardless of the level, constantly feeling alive. I don't like that either. I don't like level scaling. It makes leveling feel meaningless. I want to come back to a lower level zone and absolutely fucking wreck the mobs there, so I feel like I have progressed, like my time has been meaningful. And that's why, you know, zones always being relevant. It's a roguelite. Like, you're gonna have a reason to go back to those zones, right? Even if they're low level. Like, you'll come back the next run. And like I said, I'm gonna have the level of the world, the average level of the world is going to tick up for each time you clear out a camp. Or clear out some mobs, you know. So it is going to get increasingly difficult. On some sort of curve, right? Some sort of curve. So there are different ways to make zones continue to be relevant. Another way is putting high-level stuff in low-level zones. I think that's a great way, right? Have reasons to come back, and then the lower-level players can see higher-level players walking by. You know, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is a great game to look at if you want to see how to bring players back to locations that they've been to before. both with the time, the young Link and old Link thing, and then also with the getting new items allows you to access new areas concept, you know? I don't know how much I like the transition out of that. And then spamming, this is what spamming right click does. I'm just fainting. So I kind of have to, I guess I kind of have to have a timing for it. Being a mage in Elden Ring versus no armor, no death runs. Like, I think it's fine to have ways to make the game harder on yourself, to do your own self-imposed challenges. I think that's fine. But having, like, dangling things in front of players to be like, hey, if you're having a hard time, just use this and make the game easier. I think that's bad. This is a nice little nook for a base, though. Like, you know, it's nice and defensible. You got wall. This will be a nice, like, you got walls on all sides here. I mean, you just have to worry about this little cove right here. People getting through there. Oh, which is where I came from. I mean, that's kind of a nice outlet, though. Nice and defendable. You put some walls right here. Yeah, that was my experience in EverQuest. Feeling that's going to be me one day. Yeah, that. And then also, I hate transmog, too. Because you don't get to see all the awesome gear that you're going to be able to get. You just see, like, some gear that that player decided to show you. That doesn't really tell a story other than, oh, yeah, I defeated I one-shot the old content years after release or whatever. I would rather see players wearing the gear that they earned, you know, that they're actually using. But cat's out of the bag on that one for a while. Can't put that one back. It's the perfect example of do what you love in action. Really cool and inspiring work. Thank you, man. You also have that difficulty feeling at max level even when you go to the newbie zones, but your skill and gear creep gives you a slight advantage. Yeah, I mean, it damages the world. Like, sure, is that good for the individual player? I mean, in some ways. In some ways, it's bad for the individual player, but I can tell you it's all bad for the world. I mean, maybe you could say the positive for the world is that there are now more players in the zones. I mean, when I played Guild Wars 2, my memory, I didn't play it a whole lot, but my memory is just like, I was started in some low-level zone that was kind of like, it was like a mini tutorial area in a way, kind of like WoW, where it was just kind of like a low-level zone, and then you got to like the next zone, and then it was just like every zone after that was just a mob of people running in circles doing the events in the zone, and it was players of all levels. And I, like, when I'm like a level 5 person, I'm killing the same things as like this fucking God Slayer level 60 character running in circles over and over. Like that vibe, there's no RPG there for me. Sure, that's an MMO for sure, but the role-playing part of it is gone. The world has been disrespected. There are better ways to get players back into early zones. There are better ways to make zones, you know, evergreen. And yeah, I don't think that WoW's formula is a winning one. The formula of like invalidate everything that came out every 2 years. Like that's not a formula with very much longevity. Eventually I'm going to have like the axe that you're wielding have like stats for like chop depth, and then your logging skill, which sounds really fun to work on. Like skill, I should do that soon. I want to do logging skill levels. Seeing numbers go up is good for monkey brain. Monkey brain feel good when number go up. Monkey brain want number go up. Monkey brain want higher number. Bigger number, more gooder for monkey brain. It's almost like, why do I need to be max level when I can do it on day one? Yeah, exactly. Leveling, like in retail WoW, leveling is meaningless. I'm surprised they haven't just gotten rid of levels altogether. Like leveling from 1 to 60 in retail WoW now is a tutorial that takes 4 hours. Or less if you know what you're doing, I think. And it just reeks of insecurity. I mean, all these live service games nowadays reek of insecurity. Like, they're all so afraid of players not playing their game. I even felt that in No Man's Sky when I played it. Like, they're always like, "Oh, look at this shiny thing. Oh, no. You don't want to start. You want to boost a character. You want to come to max level. Come see the cool stuff. No, come check out all this cool stuff we have. No. That's the old stuff. You don't care about that. Look, I'll give you. Look, every day you log in, I'll give you stuff." Like, bro, chill out. Just let me play the game, man. Just let me play the game. Like, you made all this cool content back in the day. Can I just go through that? Can I just experience the world and the stories? No, come on. All your friends are at max level. You got to come do that. Like, it just feels insecure. It feels like they're insecure. They're afraid of players. They're afraid of putting friction in front of players. Like, they're so afraid. Like, no, I'll give you a level every 20 minutes. Just keep playing. I promise. It's cool. Come on. EverQuest was the game that really made leveling feel impactful for me. Yeah, I'm sure it was even more so than Vanilla WoW, because that was a harder core version than Vanilla WoW, where like you didn't have quest markers or objectives, which I do think that there's something to both, right? Like, it is nice to kind of be told, hey, this person has a quest for you, and it's explicit, and it goes into your quest log, and it's kind of just like. Hot take, I kind of like the just go kill 10 things quests. Like, it's just facilitating grinding in a fun way, right? I kind of like those. It checks the, like, there's a part of my brain that liked No Man's Sky, but it was just for the cross things off a list part of my brain. Like the kind of completionism, right? Like the game put things for me to go do, and I would go and do them, and then it would give me things for them. Like that little loop. And if you played Vanilla WoW, you'll know what I'm talking about, where you get to like a really juicy quest hub, like Duskwood, or like Barrens. Barrens was a good one. Getting into Barrens, you do like this, you get some quests to go all over Barrens, and then you do like a loop around Crossroads, which was the main city there. And then you have like 5 quests to turn in all at once. That feels so juicy. That's a good experience. I like that loop, and I want to have that kind of a loop. The quests aren't crazy amazing or anything. It's like go kill zebras and get their hooves and shit like that, right? But it just facilitates the fun part of the gameplay, which is running around the world, experiencing the world, interacting with other players, doing combat, which is fun, progressing your character. But then there's these, and then I have 4. Yeah, there's a lot of zebras with no hooves out there. But the headcanon is always like you just obliterated the zebra or the raptor so hard that they don't have a head or hooves or anything anymore. But then on the other side of the coin, you look at something like EverQuest, where it's like, and even one of the new games that came out, Dreadmist, I think. Was Dreadmist the one? Or no, it was Apogea. Apogea was like the one where it's like you have to figure out the quests, and there's like nobody tells you that they have a quest for you, and no one tells you. There's no quest markers on the map to tell you where to go. And I equate that. When I think about that in an MMO, and I think about that in terms of WoW, like, I always use the quest helper add-on in WoW to tell me where to go. But like, when I think about something like Legend of Zelda, like Ocarina of Time, there were no quest markers in Ocarina of Time. And I look at that kind of a system. Like, I think they both can go together, right? Because what they would do in Ocarina of Time is something like, you'd go up and you'd just kind of talk to someone, and you'd see you were kind of excited to talk to every new person you came across, because you didn't know what they were going to say or anything. Whereas in a like a WoW-like MMO, you only go talk to the people that have a quest for you, right? You're not really interested in what they have to say. And you don't pay attention to what they have to say, because the quest just kind of tells you where to go. Anyways. Look at this little tunnel right into our next zone here. Which, back into Starfall Crag we go. But I think having both in a game would be cool. Like the kind of quest, a kind of intrinsic quest, maybe you could call it, where you, because like in Ocarina of Time, you go up and you talk to like an NPC, and they would just be like, "Oh, if only I had some apples for a pie," you know. That's a really shitty example, really simplistic example. But then you're like, "Oh, if I had apples, I wonder what would happen if I came back here and talked to them." And then, you know, that would be like how you introduce that system to the player. That's like at level 1, you have one quest giver at the spawn, and you have one other NPC. That way, it's like there's not a whole lot to do. You know, your only options are to talk to those 2 NPCs. You talk to one, he gives you a quest to go kill 10 bandits in an orchard, taking over the local orchard. And then you talk to the other lady, and she just says something like, "Man, you know, I could make my famous apple pie if those bandits didn't take over the orchard, and I had some apples. If only I had some apples." And then you know, of course, after you kill the bandits, maybe they drop some apples. You come back and you talk to her. She's like, "Oh, some apples," and then you have an option to give apple, and you do, and then she gives you something in return for it, right? Or it unlocks maybe that unlocks a quest line, you know? Maybe that she gives you a recipe for apple pie. She gives you some experience. She gives you, you know, some bit of information that you need to unlock the next zone or something like that. You know, that's how, like, that's a shitty metaphor for how Ocarina of Time would handle quests. Like, if Ocarina of Time was an MMO, that's what it would be like. It's probably how EverQuest was to a certain extent as well. I think they're good if they're meaningful and part of a quest progression. Kill 10 bears for fur, then deer for antler, wood, and that creates an item to then go to the dungeon to kill for upgrades. Yeah, that's better, right? Like there's tiers of like how good a quest can be, and I do think you need like the boring quests. Like I don't think every quest can be epic. Even in a game like Witcher 3, which I would consider probably one of the best, that and like Baldur's Gate 3 are like the 2 best games for like, if you wanted to look at a quest system that was good, look at those games. Even in those games, there's like some, maybe not so much in Baldur's Gate. I think in Baldur's Gate everything is kind of impactful. I mean, but there's some little moments. There's some lower stakes kind of situations. But like even in Witcher, there were some quests where it was like, go get me some of these things. There weren't very many. Most quests in Witcher had some storyline to them. I'm just running around in circles. We're just yapping. I'm kind of surprised this is only using 13 gigs of RAM right now. And just as I said that, it jumped up to 16 for a second. And now back down to 12. I like that every choice you make in BG3 has an effect on the world one way or another. Like most of them do. Some of them aren't. Some of them have that mirage. Like Baldur's Gate, I think they present a lot of options to you, but then some of those options lead to the same thing, and it's just a different dialogue. They definitely have a great example for that, though. Is that RAM usage something you can optimize still? Asking because consoles can be quite limiting if you ever choose to port. Yeah, I mean, the in-editor RAM is going to be a lot higher. And PCG is the main culprit there. Like, all of that spawned is the main culprit. And PCG just caches like a motherfucker in editor. So I can do like a mem reports. Isn't it mem report? Yeah, mem reports. Forget what directory that ends up in. Say my project. Saved. Profiling. Mem reports. There it is. There it is. It's kind of hard to read because like these numbers don't add up to the number. So I was using 12.7 gigs. This all seems to be like GPU memory. Yeah, what is my GPU memory sitting at? Oh wow, yeah, that's a lot. Wait, is that actually? It's hard to tell like how much of that is from my game or not. It would be nice if there were a GPU memory percentage here. It's like RHI memory or some shit, right? 8 gigs, 8.7 gigs. Like, yeah, the editor is not good. At getting rid of this stuff. It keeps a lot around in memory. So I had 5 gigs of okay, so yeah, I think I was using 8 gigs of VRAM. And then this is probably a lot of texture. The kilobytes. Is this like 1.2 gigs or something? Is that 1.2 gigs? 1.2 gigs of textures. So this would be megabytes. Yeah, I think so. I think that's 1.2 gigs of textures, which some of mine are not optimized. Texture 2, yeah, a lot of texture memory. So environment object ISMC. This is actually not too bad. 87 megabytes. That's not too bad. I don't know, is that ordered? No, it's not necessarily ordered. Is it? I think it's... Wait a second. And there, I have 1.1 gigs of skeletal mesh, which is probably just from editor windows. Is your PC performing based on everything going on in the world at once, or processing only what your character can see at any given time? I mean, it's not rendering things that are off screen. Game engines don't do that. But like those things are in memory. It would be nice to be able to run one of these with a fully packaged game, but you can't. Okay, so this is the RHI dump memory. You can? Oh, you have to build from source though, right? I think I did actually look that up. Wow, negative memory. That's crazy. How does that happen? So this says I'm using 8 gigs. I don't... Does that add up to 8 gigs? Yeah, I guess this would be like 4 here. 5. So yeah, I guess that probably does add up to 8 gigs. Nanite, streaming manager, cluster page data, 528 megabytes. Virtual shadow maps. Apparently, it logged the same thing twice. So I hope that doesn't mean it's 2x that. 512 megabytes for shadow maps. 85 megabytes for T Assassin Armor 2 opacity. Yeah, there's some textures that are no bueno for sure. So do you have to be careful with how much you put into the wood chopping animation when considering how much else is being rendered at once in an MMO? Okay, well, first of all, I'm not making an MMO. Not trying to. But second of all, like, the animation doesn't matter. You can kind of do whatever you want with the animations. I mean, usually with animations, you just need to replicate them once to the clients. Unless they can be, like, canceled or so. So you just replicate events to clients as to, like, hey, start this animation. You don't need to replicate every frame of the animation, and you shouldn't. So you'd be like, start this animation, end this animation. Static mesh. List textures. Oh yeah, I got some 4K textures there. Yeah, that opacity, the armor opacity was a 4K. Oh, there's an 8K texture too. Oh my god, the pickaxe. Dude, the Megascans assets are so fucking egregious. Aren't they? Yeah, all these 8K textures. I don't need an 8K texture for this pickaxe. Why is that even an option? That was like one of the first things I put into the game, too. Like that could be fucking 512. And there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 texture maps for it. Yeah, gotta have that albedo map for the pickaxe for sure. There's got to be a base color in here too, right? Or is albedo contain the base color? There's roughness albedo, and then this one is the normal. Maybe it's not loaded yet. Also, how is that loaded? I mean, I guess it's because it's in my inventory. So that's something I'll have to... I mean, it should be a soft object pointer, no? I should have had that as a soft object pointer. Oh yeah, like look at all these 4K textures, man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's all coming together.
So many massive textures. What texture sizes do you guys use for your characters in your games? That's something I still kind of need to settle on. Let me see how many megabytes like a 1K text, a 512 texture, 384 kilobytes. Is that right? I feel like they're a little bit larger than that. You find the largest 512. I want the how is 128 by 128? Oh, it's a turbo sequence texture. Interesting. Okay. I have a 16 megabyte 512 texture. I guess it kind of depends on the compression. Do I have any 1K textures anywhere? Maybe these are 1K textures and it's just not showing up right. If you want to check MIM usage in a package build, you can do that. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I don't think my project packages. Oh, here's a 1K texture. The 1K texture that is smaller than the 512. I mean, I don't know if all are like that. That's just gray. That's just gray ambient. Yeah, maybe that's not the best example. Okay, so my human male has 2K textures, and they're only 5 megabytes. I think going down to 1K, you wouldn't really notice it. Let me look at the character here. Yeah, I don't think you would notice it. Yeah, I'm lost now. Just here it is. Yeah, I think that could definitely, maybe even go down to 512. I don't know. Stylized textures probably don't need to be as large. Wow. Okay. I've been yapping a lot. I need a break. I need a break from streaming. I'm gonna find someone to send you guys off to. Not a whole lot on today. We'll hit up Cavino. No one doing Unreal Engine stuff. But we'll say hello to Cavino. I haven't raided him in a while.
And then we will do...
We will do a Cavino raid. That's what we will do. But I'm gonna head out for the day. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Appreciate all of you being here. It was a good stream. You know, I didn't. I think I got the building system kind of in a good place, actually. Kind of. I think I got further, which is good. But I did a lot of yapping, but it was a good time. So thank you all. And I think I'll stream tomorrow. So hopefully I'll see you guys then. Take care.